name's Hugo and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a bit of a different video. I will discuss my favorite stories of all time, which will not only be about books. I'm using this video as a kind of announcement, you might say, to announce that I might be doing some Let's Plays on the channel as well of mostly story-oriented games, or maybe review some TV shows or movies that I think are worth sharing. So it might not only be about books anymore, but it will still be mostly about books. But just want to say that I did a poll on Instagram too, where I kind of asked you guys if it would be okay, and it was like 100% yes. I don't know if many of you follow me there, but if you don't, you should. Then you can participate in sort of polls I do there. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So I have 15 stories here. It's a mix of books, movies, TV shows and video games. They're in no particular order except my all-time favorite story of all time. All-time favorite story of all time. Yeah, that's how good I think it is. I will say what that is. Now I'm thinking, should I do it in the beginning or at the end? I'll do it in the beginning. So my all-time favorite story of all time is Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's so good. I really like Korra as well, but yeah, this is just, it's so good. To me it's perfect. It's perfect. It's, if you for some reason have no idea what it's about, there's this little kid that is like in sort of ice ball, in a ball of ice, frozen. He was there for God knows how long. Two other kids find him, they break him out of the ice, and apparently there's been a war going on for 100 years. He didn't even know about it, so he's probably in the ice for 100 years. Yeah, this might sound stupid me explaining it, but if there are people who don't actually know about it. So this dude knows how to bend air. So he's an airbender, but airbenders have gone extinct. And then he finds out he's actually the Avatar. The Avatar can learn how to bend all four elements. So there are waterbenders, firebenders, earthbenders, and airbenders. The Avatar can bend all four of them. He has to defeat the Fire Lord, who is the evil bad guy. On his path, of course, he has to learn how to bend all the four elements. My explain might not do its actual justice, but trust me, it's really good. If you've never seen it or you're thinking it's actually a kids show, and I agree with that on the first 10 episodes or so. If you're just getting into it now, you might think after 5 or 6 episodes, nah, I'm too old for this. I get that, but you need to just get through those first 10, and then it gets better, a little bit more mature as well. And near the end, it's like you're thinking like, whoa, this is for kids. And Korra as well. If you've only watched Lost Airbender, not Korra, I really recommend Korra as well. It got a ton of hate when it came out, but I don't think it deserves that. It's a bit better received now, but yeah, it's got a lot of hate in that time. So you just follow the next Avatar. Her name is Korra, and she already knows waterbending, earthbending, firebending. She still needs to learn airbending, and yeah, she goes to a certain airbender, which I will not say who it is. But yeah, it's after Aang. So Aang, of course, there's only one Avatar at a time, so you know Aang's dead in that scenario. But yeah, if you never watched Korra, I really recommend that one as well. So all the next stories, I'll just call them stories, are in no particular order. So next up I'll do a book, because we are still a booktube channel, and it's The Martian. This might be, don't know if it's my favorite science fiction, but it might be. It's about a group of astronauts who are on Mars to do some research. There's a storm and they evacuate off the planet, but they forget one astronaut. He's a botanist, I think. So he knows plants. What was his name? Mark Watney. So they leave Mark Watney behind, but they assume he's dead. However, he's not. And then he has to survive on planet Mars alone and find a way to contact Earth and let them know he's still alive, because otherwise no one would actually come. It's written in a sort of diary form, more or less, or blog. Yeah, it's really well written. It's science fiction, of course, because no one has ever actually been on Mars, but it feels like it really happened. So it's very realistic. The science as well is very well explained and all. So it feels real. It feels like a true story, which it obviously is not. But yeah, if you've never read this, I really recommend it, and I really like the movie with Matt Damon as well. But the book is better, of course.
I gotta figure out a way to grow 3 years worth of food here on a planet where nothing grows. Luckily, I'm a botanist.
Next up is a video game. Actually the entire Uncharted series on the PlayStation. It's a game developed by Naughty Dog. If you don't know about them, they're game developers. It stars my favorite voice actor of all time, Nolan North, as Nathan Drake. And I'm showing the fourth one because that's actually my favorite one. It's the last one in the series. If you've never played any Uncharted games, you can just play this one. But of course it's better if you played all four of them. It's about, I would compare it to like Indiana Jones / Lara Croft story. So this guy, Nathan Drake, is a treasure hunter, a very good one. He's smart and he's very athletic. So he finds these treasure maps to lost cities, which are worth a lot of money. And of course there are bad guys that are also trying to find it, but in less ethically right manners, if that makes sense. So it's a very fun game, but the story is just really good. In this one he has his brother is part of this one, who is played by Troy Baker, also a very good actor. And yeah, it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's basically sort of Indiana Jones, but I actually prefer the stories in the Uncharted games than I do the Indiana Jones movies. Might be a bit controversial to say, but I just do.
It's not what it looks like.
Took a long time for him to get out of this game.
Yeah, he's meant for this life. There's got to be another way. I need you on this one.
The next one is a movie trilogy. This might be considered cheating. It's the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yeah, I never read the books, so I might not have the right to include this in a favorite stories list. But yeah, they're very well received, of course. But of course, it's not the original material. So, but I've never read any of Tolkien's work because I hear it's quite difficult to get through and has a bit aged and all that stuff. So I've never actually read it, but I really want to. And of course I really love the movies. But I don't think I have to explain this one.
What's that? This, my friend, is a pint. It comes in pints?
Oh.
I'm getting one.
Next up, let's do a movie. It's Prisoners, starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman, two of my favorite actors. It's a story about two families who are I think celebrating Thanksgiving or just having dinner at each other's house. They don't look at two of the smaller children for a while, and they're just gone. They don't know what happened to them, and the detective starts up a case. The detective is played by Jake Gyllenhaal, and one of the fathers takes the right in his own hands, Hugh Jackman, and he goes investigating and asking people some question in the hope he finds his daughter back and the daughter of his friend back, played by Terrence Howard. It's a very, 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 very good movie. I think it's one of my favorite movies of all time too. It's very well acted. It's a very good story. It's very thrilling. It's very exciting. You're at the edge of your seat the whole movie. So it's never slow. It's disturbing. It's violent. It's awesome. It's very good. So really recommend it if you've never actually watched it. And I think it's a fairly underrated movie as well, because I don't hear people talking about it as much. So yeah, Prisoners, one of my favorite stories.
It hasn't been a fucking week.
You're right.
It hasn't been a week. 6. Day 6. And every day, she's wondering why I'm not there to fucking rescue her. Do you understand that? Me, not you. Not you, but me. Every day. So forgive me for not going home to have a good night's rest. Now why didn't you look for my fucking daughter rather than fucking...
Hey.
Don't follow me.
Hey. Mr. Dole.
Next up is a video game, but I don't own a copy of it. It's Life is Strange? No, just Life is Strange. The first one, there are 2 of them. I'm actually planning on playing the second one on my channel. It's a game about a teenage girl in high school who witnesses a murder, panics, and all of a sudden she's back in class like half an hour before that murder, and she realizes she's able to manipulate time, go back in time, and all the things. It's a game where your choices matter, so you have to choose between different options, and then that option takes you in that direction of the story, that option takes you in that direction of the story. When you take a choice and something happens and you're like, fuck, I didn't want that to happen, you can go back in time, undo it. You can always do it. So she goes with this other girl, a friend of hers from the old days. One of her friends is missing. It's also a student at the school he's going to, and they go both on an investigation trying to figure out what happened to her. It's a very dark story, actually, very emotional at times. At times it's also a bit like, I don't want to say cringy, but the dialogue is, I'm too old for it. Like it's high school teenage girls dialogue, and that can put you off a bit, but the story itself is very, very good, and that's why it deserves a spot.
Get that gun away from me, psycho! No!
Quick disclaimer, I just wanted to give a mix of things, so I might find some books better than this game, for example, or some movie better than this game, but I wanted to give a mix of different media. So that's why there are a lot of games, movies, series, and books. Because otherwise it would be like 8 books, 4 movies, 2 games, and maybe a show or something. But I wanted to mix it up a bit. Next up, it's a Disney film called Brother Bear. I think this is the most underrated Disney animation film ever. I watched this movie, I think, at least 50 times, I swear to God. Mostly as a kid, of course, but still as an adult. It's so funny. It's about 3 brothers. One of them, well, can I say that? I think it's on the back, right? Okay, so it's not really on the back. But this dude, Kenai, transforms on a magical way into a bear. To sort of, because he goes hunting a bear, and he transforms into a bear to kind of, I think, learn what it's like to be a bear, and they're not monsters at all, they're just animals too. He goes with a little bear, Coda, and he tries to find the bear family, I think. I don't know what their group of bears is called. So they go on this trip, but it's a very funny movie. It's very emotional. It's about 3 brothers and then also 2 brothers. So 3 brothers from when he's human, 2 brothers with the little bear. It's just a very good story. It's about family actually. The setting is very, very beautiful and pretty as well. Good actors again. Just a good movie. If you've somehow skipped this one, yeah, check it out. It's very good, especially if you're watching it with a family or something.
I'm sorry, forgive
Guys.
me. Size yours is big as mine.
I'm not eating anybody.
Oh, that's mighty decent of you, eh?
Yeah, hey, my name's Rut. This is my brother Took.
How's it going, Bear?
Don't call me that.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Bear?
No, I mean I'm not a bear. I hate bears.
Well, gee, eh? You're one big beaver.
No kidding, eh?
Next up, let's do a book, yeah? I have The Shining. I talked about this book before. I can't fucking speak. So, next up is The Shining by Stephen King. I talked about this book before, still haven't watched the movie, only read the book. Really love it. It's about a man going insane, actually, and you witness every step of the way. So they're at this hotel. He's there with his family for the winter to try and just keep an eye on it. He has to do course and all that stuff, but they're very isolated. They have no contact with the outer world whatsoever, and he slowly loses it and stuff happens. It's just very good. If you've never read it, read it, or watch the movie if you don't feel like reading it. But I hear the movie is very different. I can't give my opinion about that because I've never watched it. But I really recommend that book, yes.
Did you like Kubrick's film of The Shining?
No. Cold. I'm not a cold guy. I mean, I think one of the things that people relate to in my books is there's a warmth, there's a reaching out and saying to the reader, I want you to be a part of this. And with Kubrick's The Shining, I felt that it was very cold.
Next up, let's do another Disney animation film, which is, of course, Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is the best Pixar film, in my opinion. There are a lot of good ones, but like Toy Story is very good too. But I think this one is the best one. Again, if you have no idea what this is about, it's about a father losing his son and traveling across all the seas and oceans to try and find him back. All the while his son thinks his father doesn't really love him, or he's like overprotective because certain things have happened. Yeah, it's about a journey, about a father trying to find his son back. It's very good. It's almost perfect, if not perfect. So yeah, if you've never watched it, fucking go watch it, because it's awesome.
Oh no. No, it's gone. It's gone. No, it can't be gone. No. Nemo! Nemo! No!
Next up, a TV show. A very long one. It's House, or House MD. It's 8 seasons long, 20 episodes per season, 40 minutes per episode. If you have a lot of time on your hand and you've never watched House, go watch House, because it's awesome. I really love the actor, Hugh Laurie. It's about a doctor who has a bad leg. He is in pain every single day. and he is very antisocial. He doesn't like people, but he's a doctor, so he cures people, and he's very good at it too. He's a diagnostician, so weird cases where doctors can't figure out what's wrong with certain patients, then they call him, and he has a team that works on the case, and then they're trying to figure out what it is. And he's a genius. He's very smart. He's very intelligent, but he's a difficult man. He is not perfect. He's flawed. He's, some would say, just a dick. Some would say damaged. Some would say arrogant. Some would say a very close person, doesn't let anyone near him. But it's just, some would say all of those things. It's just so good, and not every episode is like, it's not one of those series where you're like, an episode end on a cliffhanger and then you need to watch the other. No, they're separate episodes. Well, some are like that, but most of the time they're separate episodes. Just season 1 to season 8, how the characters evolve, all of them, not just House. It's so good. It's very well written too. The dialogue is perfect in this show. It's very well acted, it's very well directed, and if you have a bit of interest in medical sciences, like I have, it's also awesome because you just learn stuff. I also, oh wait, hang on. I have this book too. It's it's in Dutch, so you can't read it, but it's the medical science that is in House. So they sometimes when you watch an episode, so you're like, is that real? Does that actually happen to people? And then in this book, they actually explain a lot of the things they do in House scientifically. So I haven't read all of it, but I've read some, and it's really interesting. So if you watch the show but you never read the book, I really recommend it. House. I love House.
Do I look like an idiot?
No. Why don't you show me how your inhaler works?
Next up is a movie. I don't own a copy of it. It's Nocturnal Animals, starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Amy Adams. It's about... It's difficult to say. A man writes a book, so he's a writer, and he sends it to an old friend or an ex-wife, can't remember. And she starts reading it, and as she's reading it, you see the story happen, if you know what I mean. So she's reading a book or a manuscript, and as she's reading it, you see it happen. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's a very dark story. It's very thrilling. It's very, if you can't watch very dark movies, I don't recommend this one. If you love a dark movie and a dark story, I really recommend this one. It's awesome. It's about a writer telling a story, might or might not have happened. Sent a manuscript to an ex-friend or an ex-wife. She reads it, and you see what a story or a book can do to a people, because she reads it and you see her reaction. And it's just a very, 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 very good story, and I really recommend it if you've never watched it. Next up, another video game, or actually 2 of them. It's The Last of Us games, so 1 and 2. If you are someone who plays a game every once in a while, and you're in lockdown now and you've never played The Last of Us, really recommend it because it's about a pandemic, but a bit worse than this one. So there's this, not a virus actually, it's a fungus, and it infects people, and they turn into zombies basically. There are different stages of every zombie, that's besides the point. It's about a father and about a little girl, and she is supposed to be, well, the first one actually, she is supposed to be the key to saving the world, and this man, Joel Miller, who is one of my favorite characters, not only video game characters, but one of my favorite characters of all time, Joel, he has to take this girl to another place, so you play as the journey, and you just see he doesn't know the girl initially. We see that they grow to each other, and this story, man, this broke my heart multiple times. Very emotional, it's very dark, very violent too. It's, yeah, if you're someone who cries at movies or shows or at books, I cried multiple times during these games. So if you never played it, I really recommend it. And if you actually never play games or something like that, but you have the opportunity to play this game, really recommend it, because it might change your opinion about it. And it's just a very good story, and it's not based on a book too, so you can't just read the book. There's not a movie about it, so you can't just watch the movie. If you wanna experience this story, you have to play it. So I really recommend it to actually everyone, not just to people who play games. Yeah, The Last of Us, it's one of the best stories ever.
What's this?
Your birthday? You kept complaining about your broken watch. So I figured, you know. You like it?
Honey, it's
What?
nice, but I think it's stuck. It's not.
What? No. Oh, ha ha.
Where did you get the money for this?
Drugs. I sell hardcore drugs.
Oh, good.
Okay, next up, a TV show called Afterlife. I don't have a physical copy of it. It's a humoristic comedian sort of thing, but very tragic, very sad at times. It's written and directed by Ricky Gervais. He also plays the lead role in it. It's about a man dealing with the loss of his wife. She died of cancer, and he has his own way of dealing with it, and constantly thinks about taking his own life, but then changes his mind because of his dog or because of other reasons. It's supposed to be a very tragic story, but it's very funny at times too. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. If you never watched it, it's like 2 seasons long at this moment, with 6 episodes per season, 20 minutes per episode. You can binge it in one day. I really recommend it. It's very, very, very heartwarming story. It's sad at times, but it's very happy at times too. And yeah, I really like Ricky Gervais too as a person. So yeah, Afterlife.
Well, I think life is precious because you can't watch it again. I mean, you can believe in an afterlife if that makes you feel better. Doesn't mean it's true. But once you realise you're not going to be around forever, I think that's what makes life so magical. One day you'll eat your last meal, smell your last flower, hug your friend for the very last time. You might not know it's the last time. So that's why you should do everything you love with passion, you know? Treasure the few years you've got, because that's all there is.
How long have I been recording? Damn, half an hour. Next one, a book. A small title, which you might or might not have heard about it. Jurassic Park by Michael. How do you pronounce this? Crichton or Crichton? I don't know. I think Crichton. Jurassic Park about Michael Crichton. I don't think I have to explain this one either. Most of these I don't actually have to explain. If you don't know, it's about some scientists who discover a way to bring dinosaurs back to life, real life dinosaurs. The science in this is very well explained too. One of my favorite subjects in college was genetics, and that's a big part of this one, so that's, for me, it was pretty cool. Of course, there's a movie as well. I really like it, but yeah, the book is just so much better and so much more accurate at times. So it's very scary, but it's a very cool story. So yeah, if you don't know it, so they bring these dinosaurs back to life and they put them in a park, like some sort of zoo, Jurassic Park, and people can visit them. Yeah, of course, at a price. And then, of course, things go wrong, and people have died in actual zoos because some lion escapes or something like that. Imagine if a dinosaur escapes. That's what it's basically about. So, kind of like people crossing the boundaries of what they should or should not do, which is ethical, and what is not. So yeah, very good story / book. One more, a video game again. Detroit, can you see it? Yeah, Detroit Become Human. It's a very recent game, this one. It's also where your choices matter, and like in a big way. You play as three androids, and androids in this game are like very advanced already, and they're supposed to be they're used as in a help in the house, so they help with doing the laundry or going to the store, or you can use them for whatever. There's also one that is used as a detective, and you play as 3 different ones, but some of them so they're programmed to obey their owner, shall I say, but some are deviant, and deviant is, well, what it means here is that they get a mind of their own, they get thoughts, so it's about the consequences of AI, right? And if you're really interested in AI, I really recommend this one. It's very good. It's about consequences of AI and what happens when we as human species create another species in the form of robots or androids, but they get a mind of their own and they start thinking, and then stuff happens. I'm talking like own rights and stuff like that, and it's very what's the word, relevant. Yeah, it's very relevant to these times as well. So it's like, why wouldn't they deserve their own rights if they can think of their own, if they have ideas of their own? Why wouldn't they get to sleep in a bed instead of in some small storage room or something like that? So yeah, it's a bit about that. It has a bit of a double meaning, of course, but it's also about the AI and the consequences of it, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that was 15 of my all-time favorite stories, with my favorite being Avatar: The Last Airbender. As I said, I wanted to do a mix of it all, so I used this video as a bit of an announcement that I will not only be doing books anymore on this channel. I will do Let's Plays every once in a while. I will review a movie or a TV show if I think it's worth to talk about. So, but don't worry, it's still about gonna be like 80 or 90% about books, my channel. I don't watch nearly as much movies as you would think. I don't play that many games. I don't watch that many shows either. So it'll still be mostly about books, but I wanted to do some different things. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you have recommendations on this, if you have a favorite game, movie, TV show or book that I should know about, that you think would also need a place on this list, leave them in the comments, and I'll be happy to discuss it there a bit further. Maybe I'll do a part 2 if you want. Let me know, because I have many more stories to talk about. But yeah, I wanted to give some attention to other media as well, because sometimes people who read a lot get a bit snobby that a book is the only way to tell a story, when it's really not. So yeah, I wanted to give a sort of shout out to the other media as well, like video games, movies or TV shows.
It is important to draw wisdom from many different places. If we take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and stale.
That was this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, guys.
Thank you.